Now, help me out here, Nicholas. 12 months ago, Scott Morrison was a lowlife, a pariah on the world stage because he wasn't going to go to a COP UN climate meeting. Well, 12 months later, guess who's not going? Definitely not going. The current Prime Minister. How does this work? Where the criticism of Morrison now becomes the praise of Albo. Where last time I checked, can we go back to the editorial control room, go and find the grab of Albo criticising potentially not turning up. What did he say of a Prime Minister who wouldn't turn up to a COP? Let's press play.
Do you think the Prime Minister should attend the Glasgow climate change meeting, or are you comfortable with other senior ministers?
The Prime Minister should attend the Glasgow conference and he should represent Australia. If he doesn't, it's because he's embarrassed about Australia's position. Scott Morrison goes missing on climate change, so it's no surprise that he may well go missing when it comes to going to Glasgow. But he can hardly send his Deputy Prime Minister in Barnaby Joyce, given Barnaby Joyce's quite farcical position.
So, Nick, hang on. I saw the footage. He signed 43, and we're going to get to 83. It's 83% renewables, and it was passed through the Parliament, and the Teals love him, but he's not going to Egypt. Why is this okay?
Well, I mean, look, you've got to understand the detail in this, Paul. This is not considered a major COP meeting. It's not like Paris or Copenhagen or Glasgow, where they're actually setting the global targets. It's an implementation COP meeting. It's an incremental meeting. And so it was critical that the Australian Prime Minister went to the Glasgow meeting because that was about setting the targets for the next 5 years. But this meeting's going to be all about implementation.
So Joe Biden's going, though,
as important. But look, I really wish that Anthony Albanese was going. I will say that because obviously the previous government trashed our reputation so badly. I mean, as we all remember, Morrison had to be shamed into going. Joe Biden and Boris Johnson had to muscle up to him to get him along there.
But Joe Biden was asleep.
The future King of England had to call him out because Australia's reputation was so bad and we're heading in the wrong direction.
So
now, thanks to Albanese, we're heading in the right direction. I wish he was going because he needs to fix our reputation and he could put the best forward for us. But the truth is, it's not as an important a meeting as Glasgow. It's not one of the 5-year setting of targets meeting. It's an implementation meeting.
I mean, look, not even Greta's going, but, you know, Sliden Biden's going, isn't he? I mean, Biden's going, Greta's not. So Biden's going, but it's not that important. But the leader of the free world is going. I can't quite follow this, Senator. Is it important? Isn't it important? Is it a national shame? Is it a source of national pride? Just help tease this out for me.
Well, I kind of agree with Nick here. This is a totally useless conference. The net zero agenda is clearly dead right around the world. Europe's opening coal-fired power stations. The UK is drilling in the North Sea again. And Joe Biden, he might go to Egypt this COP meeting, but he's spent the last few months travelling the world and begging every last tin pot dictator for more oil. I mean, the whole agenda is dead. And if there was one regret about Anthony Albanese not going to Egypt, it is maybe he could get some tips from the German government about how to reopen coal-fired power stations. Maybe he could get some tips from the UK government about how to drill for more gas, because they're doing the right thing, and we should now join the rest of the world and increase the production of fossil fuels. That's the only way we'll get people's energy bills down.
I think that's actually the view of the German Greens, is it not? Let alone the view of
that's
our
right.
Prime Minister.
The energy minister in Germany, he's a Green Party politician. He's reopened 21 coal-fired power stations, more than we have.
All right, well, when in doubt, break glass in case of emergency. Here's Greta to save everyone.
So as it is now, the COPs are not really going to lead to any major changes, unless, of course, we use them as an opportunity to mobilize, which we must try to do, and make people realize what a scam this is.
A scam, Nicholas? You say the Prime Minister should go to this scam. Are you saying Greta's wrong? Because you may have to hand in your lefty gun and badge if Greta's wrong.
I mean, look, Greta is a great young woman and she's campaigning ferociously on climate change, and good luck to her for that. Obviously, she wants large radical change. She doesn't think COP's going far enough. I understand where she's coming from, but I do think COP has got the world on a good path. I do want to agree with something Matt said, though. You know, he talked about increasing supply as being the solution to energy problems, and I agree. I think the solution is obviously supplying more renewable power. Matt thinks it's about supplying more gas, but of course the government that did the most to reduce Australia's gas supplies to a domestic audience was, of course, the previous coalition government, because they didn't put in place a reserves policy, which meant that those billions of dollars of gas, it's now being exported to Japan and elsewhere.
Nick, that was under the Gillard
problems were created by the government that Matt Canavan served in. So, you know, and if you want to
what about the gas
plant
in Newcastle that's now going to be a hydrogen plant that they don't have the technology for? Anyway, we could go all night.